And we're back at the top of another Savage stream. Thanks for everybody tuning in. I really appreciate it. My mic is working. I had to turn off the delay that I was using for the poker tournament on Saturday. That's why I'm a little bit late. Had to figure that out because I hit like go live, and then it's like it's got a little indication down there that it's basically storing the data for 3 minutes or whatever it was, whatever kind of delay I had on. And so I had to fix that. And then during the stream on Saturday, my mic just stopped working for some reason. So I had to troubleshoot that a little bit. So I was hoping that it was working. It seems like it's working. Let me know if the sound is good. It looks like it might be a little bit high, but let me know. I'll turn it down just a little bit. All right, so let's get right into it. I'll talk about some other things at the end. We'll talk about the upcoming poker tournament, not ours, the Aon Pool Poker Tournament, or the Aon sponsored poker tournament. We'll talk about that at the end, unless I forget. But I don't think that Yashnik will let me forget. I think he's going to probably talk about it while we're in here. So that's all good. But anyway, I've been struggling. I've had this problem with the rigs staying connected. I had this ongoing thing. It's been it was almost at the beginning of when I first put the rigs into the vault, right? So, I ran the 240 outlet. I got all that stuff in there. I checked the power supply for the little Wi-Fi access point. I used some cheap. We'll get to all this, but I used some cheap TP-Link access points. They're like $27 or $24 or something like that for the rigs. But and I'll show you that in a minute if you haven't seen it already. But that might play into the whole problem. But anyway, so after I moved the rigs in there, now, even before I moved the rigs in there, I had a little bit of an inconsistency. Like there would be problems where we would lose Wi-Fi for a little while. I would have to like reset the router, and that would normally bring it back. I've had some power problems in there too. I got hit by lightning. I got basically like my old router and my old cable modem got destroyed by a lightning. It wasn't like that the house got hit by lightning. I'm just saying it came through the wires and zapped a couple of devices. One of the RS cable modems that I just bought, it was only like a month old or 6 weeks old. It started smoking. That was after the lightning strike. So I've had a really hard go with like network connectivity here. And anyway, so even before this little problem of putting everything in the vault, I still had this problem of just randomly losing connection, having to reset everything. But whenever I put everything in the vault, it seemed good. Like for, I don't know, maybe it was at least a few days, like maybe 4 or 5 days. It seemed like everything was good. It was a good, solid connection and everything was great. Then all of a sudden, things just started going downhill, and I would constantly lose connection. There were days where the rigs weren't connected because, I'd be at work, and then I'd have to come home and troubleshoot it. And anyway, it's been this whole debacle with this wireless connectivity, and I kind of got ahead of myself on the vault because, obviously the end goal is going to have a switch or actual home runs in the vault for the rigs. Probably a switch, so that way I can expand easily in the future. And each rig doesn't need their own connection. So as far as their own home run back to a main switch or anything, because it's a little data. So that was the end goal, is to have that. I don't have that yet. It's just kind of, you guys know how I've been working on the vault. So it was just an oversight on my part that I was thinking that the Wi-Fi was going to work no problem, and I was wrong. I was really wrong. So it's been this ongoing thing for about a week. I've been really focusing on what is causing the problem. So let me get, now my room is a wreck, all right, because I've been troubleshooting this and I haven't cleaned it up or anything. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to switch over to the other camera, and I think I can switch over to that audio over there as well. And then you'll be able to hear me and all of that stuff over there. So let me do this real quick. So there's the other camera. Probably you might be getting a little bit of feedback from the two mics right now, but I'll leave. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go wired. This is Deadwood. This is definitely temporary, but I did go for a really long time with wireless with no problem, right? This is something new after I put the rigs in the vault, in this room. So I'll explain a little bit of, now obviously, well not obviously, but let me say this because I meant to say this earlier. Okay, so you know how whenever you troubleshoot something and then you figure it out, there is like an enlightenment, like you figure out, okay, and everything is like super obvious at that point. Oh, this makes perfect sense now, right? All the weird symptoms and all that stuff, all of it makes perfect sense. So yeah, I'll get to all that. All right, so you can see the temperature in there. Now again, the sensor is actually at the top of the closet here, the vault, so it's a little bit of a misleading indicator here. But okay, so let's see if I can get into this thing, because this is a freaking mess. All right, got cables in the way, I got keyboards, I got everything in the way here. So I was doing some, I went all out. I was doing like re-imaging OSs, trying different OSs. I was going every which way. Now, it's probably about 95, like where I'm standing like right now. Maybe somewhere around there. I need to pull the sensor for the thermostat. I need to pull it down this wall over here so that it's more in line with where the rigs actually are. So anyway, all right. I don't know if you remember, but originally I had the router, the little TP-Link. Let me grab it. I'm gonna grab one of them. I have two of them. I have two of these because I used to have the rigs all over the house in different places. So I used to have this right here, okay? Just like this. And it worked like that with all four rigs. Plugged into it. It worked like that for a little while. Then it started seeming like I was having connection problems. So then I started messing around with it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just I don't know, maybe it's the heat, maybe it's, now I do know this. Rigs give off interference, right? So there's, I guess it would be, it's almost like, it's not radiation, but it's like an EMF that comes off of the rigs that can interfere with wireless, and that's why a lot of people will tell you to not use wireless adapters with your rigs. But see, in this case, I'm like a little bit away from the rigs. Now I do know that if I just hit a fan with my thing here, if I put this like near a rig, like if I set it here, for example, it would never work right there, never, because there's just too much interference. So I know that, and I thought that this was far enough, and again, like I said, it was working fine for a while. Then it stopped working. So then I started like adjusting it, I was like trying to put it like this, all kinds of different configurations and stuff. Okay. None of that seemed to work. I started thinking that maybe there was like a problem with the OS that I was using NiceHash OS. So then I started I tried Hive, just trying different things, just doing all the pretty common troubleshooting steps. I was going through everything. I'm like, man, this just doesn't make sense why this thing just keeps dying. And I got kind of lazy with actually putting a monitor on the rigs. And once I did that, then it was like really apparent, right? I didn't want to have to get back there and do the whole cabling and stuff. So stupid on my part. I should have done that like right off the bat, just threw a monitor, keyboard on there just to figure out what was going on. Matter of fact, I zeroed out the BIOS on both of these rigs here because they are configured to not have the onboard enabled, and the monitor that I have doesn't have an HDMI or DisplayPort. I only had a DVI, or I didn't have a DisplayPort cable, so I had to use another monitor that was DVI only. So because of that, I had to zero out clear out the BIOS and reset that up anyway. So again, lots of troubleshooting steps here. But let's get to it. All right, so what I finally ended up doing was like, okay, there must be some type of interference going on here. And then it kind of dawned on me, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I'm in a room, I've got 3 rigs, I've never had, or 4 rigs total, I've never had all the rigs in one room like this. That's one thing. Then, on top of that, it's enclosed, right? So it's only 5 feet by 5 feet. So if there is that interference coming off of the rigs, and there is, then it's amplified by the fact that it can't escape this room, right? So it's kind of bouncing around here. So then, what I did, I just simply put the router outside of the room, like this, and it has worked flawlessly this way. So this is the other one, right? The other one's in there. I mean, I was even reconfiguring these things, thinking that it was something wrong with them. Now, these aren't cheap models. I bought them a long time ago whenever I had the rigs all over the house. You know, again, I'm going to get better connectivity in there, probably like a unified, a ubiquity switch, you know, managed and all that stuff for the vault, and you know, probably so I can upgrade and stuff like that. It'll be like 1 drop in there, 1 Cat 6 drop, and then that goes back to the home room closet, which I still have to do all that stuff too. I haven't got to the wiring part of it. This was like my first initial project here. So, but yeah, right here, this thing works fine because I'm assuming anyway, what's happening is the signal is coming off of this. Now the network cabinet is over there. It's way down the hall that way. Okay, so it's bouncing. At least it's not inside of that room, but it's able to bounce like back behind me, around this wall, through that door, you know, and it's able to actually work in this way. Because if I take that and I put it inside that room, I'll lose connectivity probably within a half an hour. It'll be gone. And I won't be able to get it back, or it'll come back really sporadically. Like it'll work for a few minutes and then stop, right? So right here, it has been all day, more than 24 hours, that it's been just fine right here. But again, if I put it in there, it won't, it's not going to be the case. So I'm going to clean all this stuff up. Like I said, this is a mess, and it's just for me troubleshooting and stuff. But what also dawned on me is what is on the other side of that wall. So that wall is the wall that is in between the router and the wireless access point for the house, right? So it's down the hall. I can probably show you that maybe a little bit here. Let me see here. Maybe not. All right. Anyway, it's way down there. I can maybe show you from over here. It's like way down there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's down in the laundry room. So anyway, what's on the other side of that wall is a bathroom. So let me switch back over to my other camera here real quick. And I can show you what it looks like, because right on the other side of that wall is probably my biggest problem. Let's see here. And like I said, it was a bathroom, but it looks like that's not going to come up. Give me a second. Computer's acting stupid. I have a problem with some of my pictures for some reason. Alright, so this is about the only thing it'll open in. So anyway, right on the other side of that wall is the bathroom. So this tile wall here is basically directly on the other side of the wall where the router was, and so that means that the router was down here below the bathtub, right? Whenever it was sitting down. Now I did raise the router up and I tried to put it higher in the space, which might actually work if I had longer network cables. If I put it higher up, it might work. But basically the router was sitting right over here, you know, underneath here. So that was what was my problem. My bathtub was in the way. So anyway, all right. But I know I went kind of long on that. But long story short, it looks like it's solid now. I'm going to probably just leave it out here, I guess, for the time being until I can route all the cables and whatnot and get all that stuff worked out. That's a whole other like project. I mean, I could probably do something temporary, which I do have it. I do have one of the rigs plugged in, like just to a switch right here in front of me, because it was part of the troubleshooting steps that I was taking. But this can probably just be plugged right into the router and be good now. And I don't know if maybe I can put a little table over there or something for the router to sit on just for the time being. I'm saying router, but it's an access point. And it's actually configured as a range extender. These things, those TP-Links have 3 modes. They have, router, access point, and range extender. So that's all it is. It's acting as a range extender right now. So, all right, let me check the chat, see what you guys are up to over here. Oh, are y'all telling stories? I've got a story about a network problem too. It sounds like you might, Crypto Noob UK. You might be. I don't know what the actual story was. So here's a story of interference. During the nighttime at a customer's, they had an office full of people. And it was like at night, but they also had people there during the day. And during the day, network was solid, no problems whatsoever. At night, problems, connectivity problems, random drops, all kinds of, not Wi-Fi, this was all wired. Okay, so Cat 5e, or Cat 5 maybe at the time, this was a long time ago, ran through the overhead, drop ceiling and all that stuff. They had some other person or other company to run the wires, and this was a new network install, and no one, it's an echo, sorry. So no one could figure out what the problem was, because it only happened at night. Well, come to find out, during the day, the fluorescent lights in the office building, or in the cubicle area there, they were off. Because it was bright outside, they had plenty of windows and stuff like that. At night, they had to turn those lights on. So at night, there was the interference from the fluorescent lights, because the people who ran the cables ran them across all of the same, basically like the hangers for the fluorescent lights. They used those to run the cables, so they were very close to all the fluorescent lights. And so at night, they would flip the lights on, network would go down. They were like, "What is going on?" So that was kind of a crazy story. There was another one where I think there was a. This didn't happen to me, but this was another story I had that I heard. I think they had a network switch on a microwave, like in the lunchroom. That's where their network switch was on a microwave, and for some reason during lunch they would all lose connectivity, and they couldn't figure that one out either. So. Anyway, so yeah, funny story. People were warming up their food and causing the network to go down. Funny stuff. So the TP-Links are all 2.4, but my main router is 5 or 2.4. Just answer some questions I'm seeing over here. It's not the dead wood. It's not glass, or actually, I guess it would be glass, right? Like fiberglass. I guess that's what it is. It's not metal. All right, so now that we've got all that out of the way, all that troubleshooting and all that nonsense, that was crazy. I'm so glad though to get it fixed, or at least fingers crossed that I figured it out. Now again. You're probably looking at this like, that was an easy fix. And I get it, but you got to understand where I'm coming from, because of the stuff. It worked fine for a while. And then all of a sudden, it stopped working so well. So anyway, so let's talk about what we've got going on. Yashnik and his Aeon Pool has organized another poker tournament. Seems to be all the rage these days. It's going to be, it's sponsored by the OAN and Aon Pool, which is Yashnik and those guys. They are doing another poker tournament. I don't remember the dates. Hang on a second. Let me pull up this thing. All right, so here we go. So this is the little data sheet on it. It is August 29th, and at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So the 29th, that's what, next? I'm so bad with dates. All right, that would be on a Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that. All right, so August 29th. It's similar to the poker tournament that we just put on for charity. It's similar to that, but it looks like, I want to say I saw in here that it is a regular structure. So not a turbo. Yeah, right here. See, speed. So it's not a turbo. I think that means that the rounds are 5 minutes each, I think. Or it could be even 10 minutes. I don't know. Yashnik, you can probably clear that up for me. I've always done... Oh, okay. All right, so I said that wrong. Sorry, Yashnik. It's sponsored by Aon Pool, but it has support of the OAN and the community, you know, all that stuff. So they are donating quite a bit. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. All right, let's see here. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. But I think that it's, correct me if I'm wrong here. Yeah, I think I can share this now. I'll throw that over there. Yashnik, correct me if I'm wrong. It's 10-minute rounds, right? Or 10-minute levels, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway. So this is pretty huge, and I say that because this is not a charity tournament. This is like a donation, like organizations have donated, like these folks here. You know, Matt donated. Everybody's donating something. And look at this prize pool. Okay, so this is kind of crazy if you think about it. But there is 20 places so far. It could change, but right now, 20 places are going to be paid. That means that if there's 21 players in the tournament, only one player is not going to win something. That's huge, guys. That is certainly huge. And I mean, it makes it really cool because basically, you know, all the way through 10th place, you're going to get a significant amount of Aon. I mean, first place is 3,000. And what is Aon right? Aon is actually going up right now too. So let's go and look at this real quick. Or it was. I mean, I don't, you know how crypto is. I don't know what's going on right now, but it was going up earlier. All right, so it's at 13.5 roughly. Okay. So 13.5. I'm gonna have to do some math here. Let me use the calculator because I'm an idiot. 0.135 times 3,000. So that's $400. $405 for first place. If you were to not hold that crypto and actually trade it in. That's crazy. For free. $400 first place for a free tournament is humongous. Right? I mean, that is crazy. Let's see. So 0.135 times 2,000. I know I should be able to do that in my head. Even second place is 270, and so on and so forth. So this is like 135, or no. That would be 200 for third, so on and so forth, man. I mean, it's a lot, guys. I mean, that is a huge tournament. I can't wait. I can't wait to bust Yashnik. Should be pretty fun. Now, I can tell you this, Yashnik, it's actually, I mean, we can probably go to it. Let's go to it real quick just to see if I can go into it really quick. I still got to register and stuff. Let's do that now. Show you how to register. Boom, there you go. All right, so let's go to structure. I think it's 10 minutes. Yep, see right here? So it's 10 minutes. Now, what that means is that, and here's the thing, I think that there's going to be a lot of players. It really seems like, I mean, this is 2 weeks away and there's already 10 people in here. That's a lot. So it's actually a good thing though, because this is a real tournament, guys. This is like real. It's actually not even real because you're getting into it for free, which is insane. But you're able to win real value, real money, so to speak, real crypto. So with 10-minute rounds, it's going to play a lot like a real live tournament. Like our charity tournaments, that's 5-minute rounds. It's super fast. You know, the blinds go up fast, and it gets crazy pretty quick, right? You have to really get lucky early on in order to survive. You know, that initial. You know, maybe about the first hour. In order for you to survive the first hour, you got to get lucky a couple times. You cannot get unlucky because you don't have time. You don't have time to get unlucky. So with 10-minute rounds, you actually do have a little bit of time to actually work, right? If you play poker, you understand what I'm getting at here. You know, you need a little bit of time to feel the players out and to figure out what's going on the table. Those 5-minute turbo tournaments, you don't really get that. You just have to kind of get lucky early on. So, all right, did I post that link over there? I think I did. Yeah, so should be really cool. This is not real money. I mean, the winning is real money, but all the chips, like you saw me register, it's 20,000 in free chips that you get from PokerStars. So it's not really like, you know, there's some people that have reservations about, you know, they say it's like gambling or whatever, and that's why they don't want to play. But I mean, if it's completely free, it's kind of like playing cards with your family. I mean, it's kind of the way to look at it. I don't know, man. I mean, you know, there's some folks are against that kind of thing. I get it, but it would seem like, you know, if there's literally no gambling at all, you know, it's not like you're really betting anything real. You know what I mean? So another really cool part of this tournament is that there's going to be bounties. All right, so the bounties are cool, and this is something that we might do in our tournaments at some point if we kind of get away from the. Actually, we wouldn't even have to get away from the charity part of it, but the bounties are going to be like this. They're going to add more as we get closer. For one, you know, there'll be different people picked, and the way the bounties work is whoever knocks that person out. Like, let's say right now you can see here that Casbar 2020 is a bounty, right? So if you get into the tournament and you knock him out, then you get 100 Aeon just for knocking him out. So you even, like, let's say there's 100 players in here and you're not one of the top 20, you're still going to win 100 Aeon because you knocked out one of the bounties. So there's going to be 10 bounties, I guess, total. And there might even be a really significant bounty. He might possibly be in the chat right now. He might be even more than 100. I don't know if he wants me to talk about that or not, but I'll let him take it from there if he wants to mention that. So the bounties are going to be cool. So what does that do? That adds a level of interest, right, to the tournament, because, you know, if you know that that person is a bounty that you're playing against, it might make you do things a little differently than you would if it wasn't a bounty. You know what I mean? So it actually is like this thing that plays into the whole game theory behind the poker tournament itself, right? And how to play. So it's really cool. That's a good addition to, you know, keep the interest and keep it going. You know, our tournaments lasted, the two charity tournaments, I want to say the second one was only an hour and a half. It had 22 players, and it was an hour and a half. The first one was 21 players, and I think it was around 2 hours. And that was a turbo tournament. I would suspect that if this one has 21 players, it will probably be three to 4 hours would probably be my guess, unless people get crazy. Again, the bounties add into that. You know, that's significant, and the fact that so many places are paid also. So pretty cool, pretty cool. And then the second place is going to also win a 1060. So they're going to win 2,000 Aeon plus a GTX 1060 3 gig. I don't know who's donating that. Is that you, Yashnik? I forget. I think you mentioned who's donating the GPU, but I don't remember who it was. And then also an OAN Aeon hoodie, gray. Only the size is large, I guess. That's cool. So that is going to be for third place, in addition to the 1500 Aeon. That's huge, guys. That's really cool stuff, man. Yeah, I agree, Fold'em. I agree. I think that you know, our tournament is fun, but everybody knows it's just charity and the donation's already there. Now, this last one, you know, we did do a little bit of a donation or a little bit of a prize. Like, you got Zelcore subscription, Zelcore Plus subscription, which is basically a $72 value. I donated like $20 to the top 3 places in BTC. So there was something there to win. But it turns out that Zelcore, or Zel, actually Zelcore, I guess it would be Zelcore, the wallet portion of Zel, donated Zelcore Plus subscriptions to the whole field. So anybody who played got them. So, you know, that kind of took away from the actual top 3 or 4 or whatever we were going to do actually winning the subscription, because everybody got it. So the tournament plays different whenever it's like that. Whenever there's this tournament is going to play like a real tournament. That's what I was trying to get at early on. You know, it's like this is pretty big in my opinion. I mean, $400, over $400 for first place basically is pretty significant. But this document lays all this out. It tells you how to get registered. I think is still in here, right? Yeah. So right here's how to get registered, and what the name is and all that stuff, and who to contact for more info, how to watch it, and all that stuff. There's going to be some of us streaming it, you know. I don't know what I'll be doing. I will tell you this. Like in the previous ones, because I was part of the organization of it, this one I'm not so much a part of the organization. You know, Yashnik's taken that away. So, Fold'em is donating the 1060. Awesome. Thanks, man. So I'm going to be able to focus a little bit better, because I'm always, the last 2 tournaments that I've been in, the charity tournaments, I'm almost not even there. I'm really not paying that much attention to it, because I'm doing other things, you know, while the tournament's going on. This one, I'm going to be able to focus a little bit more. So Yashnik knows I'm coming after him, because he did me dirty in that last tournament. So, yep, coming after you. Max voltage, I think you would have to hit up Mikkel. If Crypto Mikkel, is he in here? If he doesn't respond, just let me know, and I'll get it to you. All right, so it is like way after the time that I should have went. I'm going to get out of here. I think I did a pretty good promotion of this tournament. It's coming up in a couple weeks. I think it's going to be awesome. And plus we talked about Wi-Fi and interference and stuff like that. So I think we're good. Jay Bohannon, what OSs do I use now? Right now I'm using Hive OS. I'm sorry, Hash. You would think that I'm drinking, and I'm not. I am using Nice hash OS right now. Hey, what's up, Crypto Mikkel? Yeah, somebody was asking about how to acquire the Zelcore Plus subscription. Who is given the voucher for the game? For Shuby, what are we talking about? Hey, what's up, Nemesis? Are y'all doing something tonight? I did not, I didn't check. Doesn't look like it. I have to always check because I don't know who's doing what these days. All right, I know y'all are still talking, but I got to get out of here. I'll leave this open so y'all can chat for a minute, but it's way past my time. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I don't know what we'll cover tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have this room cleaned up and it'll look better because right now it's just a disaster in here. We have to get to there. I've got some things planned that I need to cover, so I'll pick something, or maybe I'll do a Twitter poll or something like that, and we'll figure it out. So should be something interesting. I try to make it interesting anyway. Shuby, who's giving it out for the upcoming tournament or the past one? If it was for the one that we just did, like the charity, contact Crypto Mikkel for that. And what Zelcore has done, actually, and this is new, I don't know when it starts, I don't know if it started already, but Zelcore, if you have 5,000 Zel in the wallet, if you have 5,000 worth of Zel, 5,000 Zel units in the wallet, then Zelcore Plus is free. Now, I think that's only while you have 5,000 in the wallet. So as long as you maintain 5,000 in the wallet, then Zelcore Plus is free. But again, I don't know if that started already or if that's something coming up or what, but that's awesome too. Really cool stuff. Jay Bohannon, I have not tried Rave OS because I already did Hashrate OS, and I knew that they were really close. Except for Rave OS, I think has the added feature of, I don't know what they've added lately, but at the time, whenever all that stuff went down, I believe that Rave OS had the overclock, the ability to save the overclock settings, I think. And Hashrate OS didn't have that yet, so. Okay, so Yashnik is saying we are going to look for some news on the next two bounties, because like I said, they're going to add bounties as we get closer, right, to the tournament. So there'll be a couple of bounties at the end that are added, you know, at the very end too. So, okay, so Crypto Mikkel, I didn't watch that yet. I've got it queued up, but I haven't watched it yet. I can't remember if was it because it was too long? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll get to that. I want to watch it. See what Daniel Keller has to say. So that's cool. But is it Crypto Mikkel? Is it already out, or is that something that's coming? Because I've got the wallet. I had the wallet open and I didn't see anything. But I've already subscribed, so it probably wouldn't let me know anything in there. So. All right, I got to get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow night, same time, 9:30 tomorrow, and yep, should be fun. Yeah, smash the like. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts here, make sure that I don't forget anything. Smash the like, share, subscribe, all that junk that you're supposed to do. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.